Good afternoon, everyone. This is North Shore Preparedness coming to you from the busy shores of Lake Ontario. Today is Saturday, August the 29th, 2020, and we're having a temperature of about somewhere around between 72 and 74 degrees, or sorry, 24 and 23 degrees, which is 75 for my American brothers and sisters, with strong winds out of the northwest. Intermittent sun and cloud, and a touch of rain here and there. I don't have anything ready in my garden to can today, so we're taking a day off from canning from the garden, but I was at the grocery store this morning and I found a fantastic deal on some breakfast sausages. You can see here these little breakfast links. These are pork sausages. They were marked down to almost half, so I bought a couple of big packs of them, large packs. There were 3 packs there at the reduced rate, and in retrospect I should have bought that 3rd pack too, but that shows when you're somewhere and you see a sale, grab it. Regardless, I got the 2 packs, and what we're going to do today is show you how we're going to get these pressure canned up. I'm not sure if that's zoomed in too much or not enough. That's probably alright there, I guess. Okay, so I've already got these 5 done, and we have enough sausages here to get a half dozen jars done. We're using these pint-size, wide-mouth mason jars today. Now, pint size for Canadians or people who work on the metric system, these are 500 milliliters, okay? So, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. All these are already done. What we're going to need is we're going to need our jar, our flats, our rings, a little bit of beef stock. I'll show you about that. We're going to need our jar lifter, or sorry, our lid lifter. And later on, once they come out of the pressure canner, we're going to need our jar lifter to protect our hands. So yeah, today we'll be pressure canning these. You always want to pressure can meats. This is going to be my maiden voyage on pressure canning, and I'll show you my pressure canner here in just a minute once we get this this last jar of sausages jarred up. And we're going to do a bit of an experiment here too, which I'll show you about here in a minute. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into this. We're going to start getting our sausages into the jar, okay? So you just want to lay them in like that. 2, 4, 6. I want to lay them down flat so they all stand up. 8. And 10 fits in nicely, okay? 10 fits in there very nicely. Let me just go clean my hands quickly, and we'll get right back to this, okay? Alright, so we got our sausages in the jar. There's 10 in there. Now, 4 of these jars have 11. I didn't really have to force them in that hard. They kind of went in naturally, but you know, all these jars had 10, and I had 4 sausages left, so I took 4 of the jars and I added 1 extra sausage to each of the jars. So in total, we got 64 sausages here for I think it was 12 bucks. I think was the final price I paid for those 2 large packs of sausage. And that's great. Okay, so we got our sausages in the jar. Now, to these jars, I have topped these jars up with a little bit of beef stock, up to about, sorry, you can't see it there. I've topped these jars up to about 1/3 of the level with beef stock, because I like to have some liquid in my jar, okay? Excuse my reach over here across the front of the camera. To this jar here, what the experiment is going to be is we're not going to add any liquid to this at all, because to my understanding this will produce its own liquid and fats, and it will make a certain level on the jar. So we're going to see the difference of what the level of the liquid's going to be at the end of the canning process on these jars that have the beef stock in it, and with this one that doesn't have any. Okay, so you get them in there. You want to wipe your lid because you want to wipe it with vinegar. Sorry, the top of your rim. You want to wipe that with vinegar because we're working with sausage. This is a fatty product, right? Now you want to grab your lid out of a pot of hot water. Just place it right on. On goes your ring. Just ever so slightly tight. And now for me, I'm just going to dry the top of this one because I want to write on it. I want to put an X on this with a Sharpie. Just to mark it to see if we can measure the difference in what the liquid's going to be at the end of this process, okay? So we'll mark it with a big blue X. All right? All right, I'm just going to spin you around to the pressure canner right now, and we'll carry on with this. Like I said, this is my maiden voyage with my pressure canner. I have had it since spring, but I haven't used it yet. So this is the, let me just see if I can back out of this a little bit. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is a pressure canner by a company called Presto. And this is a 28 quart model. Now I'm not sure if you can see, I think I just blocked my own light. I'm going to move this over here a little bit, see if you're still good in the viewfinder. Okay. Alright, now I'm not sure if you can see, but there are lines here for levels to fill your liquid to inside of this pressure canner, okay? And there's a line way down here, and that's for doing pint-sized jars, which these are. So we're going to fill that with cold water to that level, okay? We've already got some water in there. We'll fill this to that level with cold water. Don't want to do it any more than that. And what we're also going to do is we're going to put in about a third of a cup of regular old white vinegar. And that's just to help prevent your jars from clouding through the process. So yeah, without further ado, we're just going to get those right in there, okay? In retrospect, I should have bought the other pack. When you see something on sale, and if you can afford it, grab it. I may go back tomorrow to see if it's still there. I also got some ground beef on sale, so I'm going to be doing some pressure canning on ground beef too. It's not going to happen in this video, but it will happen. Okay, so this is a Presto, if I can read the model number here, let me put on my other glasses, my other glasses. Okay, this is a Presto model 0178107, 28 quart pressure canner, okay? So, let's go here with our lids. You see, I'm not sure if you can see here, let me get around here and, yeah, okay, you can see there's an arrow right there. On the handle of this, and this is our lid here. Maybe you can also see that there is another arrow here, okay? It's got close, turn it that way, open, turn it that way. So we're going to want to line these arrows up just like that when we place our lid on, okay? As such, so that your lid sits down flat. If you don't line those up, you're going to have a real tough time sealing the top of your lid. Okay, now because we're having cold sausages in cold jars, we want cold water inside of our pressure canner. I believe this is called the cold pack method. Not sure. Like I said, this is my maiden voyage. So once you've got your lid seated properly with the lines lined up, you just go ahead and turn it in the closed direction that way until your lids line up, and your lid will automatically stop turning, okay? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to turn our element on. We're going to turn it on high. And we are going to wait. We are going to wait until out of this, let me just turn that so you can see it a little bit better. Out of this vent hole here, steam will start to be being produced out of that vent hole. Now once steam has been produced steadily out of that vent hole for 10 minutes straight, what we'll do is we'll drop this weight. You can see that? We'll drop this weight on top of there. and then the pressure will come up, and for my elevation, once it comes up to over 10 pounds of pressure, 10 and 11, somewhere in here, if you can see that on the dial. Once it comes up to that pressure, we will begin our timing to can these under between 10 to 11 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. Okay, so once these sausages are done, they will be fully cooked and they will be edible out of the jar. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this because you do not want this on now until it starts to produce steam. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of an experiment here. Now you guys need to check for whatever elevation that you guys are in, because your amount of time that you need to pressure can and your amount of pressure at which you need to pressure can will vary with your elevation. Now you can go onto your city's website and you can find out what the elevation of your area is, and then you can go onto the Ball Canning site. Is a great resource to find out what pressure you need at your elevation for different products, be it meats, vegetables, if you're canning soups or stews, anything like that. So this is going to be the maiden voyage. That's what I'm up to today. I had nothing to can, like I said, from the garden, and I found a fantastic deal on meats, so I thought I'd capitalize that on that and give this pressure canner its maiden voyage doing meats, which is kind of what I wanted to use it for anyways. So it's going to be a really interesting experiment. We'll see how much liquid is produced in the jars that I introduced the liquid into, and hopefully if that X I put on the top of the one jar doesn't wash off in the canning process, we'll see the difference between how much water is produced in the ones that I introduced the liquid into and the one I did not introduce liquid into. So we kind of get a bit of a double video out of this, you know, my maiden voyage with a pressure canning and a little bit of an experiment between you know, sort of two different methods of cold pack or cold canning, or you know, I'm not sure exactly how it's properly called, but if you guys know, leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys are doing with your pressure canners, what type of successes that you've had, and especially about what kinds of failures. Try and share that with the other folks so that they can get a read of you know, sort of what not to do for these kinds of application. Okay, so that's going to be my video for this afternoon, guys. I hope everyone is staying well and safe. If it's hot where you are, I hope you're staying cool. If it's cool where you are, I hope your gardens are doing well. Alright? I hope everyone's garden is doing well no matter where you are. This is going to be North Shore Preparedness, wishing you all a fine afternoon. I'm going to be out for now.